Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. It's me, Adam Hunter. I'm joined by the legend, Yves Edwards. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How's everything going?
Everything is good. We
Awesome.
also have Joe the Kid Perez here.
What's up?
And it's going to be a good show. We have Brooke Mayo on the show, a young Bellator fighter, smoking hot, lost her pro debut, but had an eye that was like coming. It was so it was blacker than you, Yves. Her eye was blacker than you, and
sexy eye.
yeah, people were calling it Dean Thomas. That's how black it was. And she still wanted to fight. This chick's a badass. So we're gonna have her talk to her in a little bit. It's gonna be a good show today. I know the last show got a little crazy. We had Felony on, who used to go by Crazy Horse.
Yeah.
He had a lot of interesting things to say.
Was he here in studio?
No.
Okay.
Hell no. He was in Florida, and he said some horrible things about gay people, which once again we cannot condone, and I disagree. I could not disagree with the guy more on everything he thinks about gay people, but the guy's entitled to his opinion, even if you don't agree with it. So,
I spent a lot of time with him in Japan, man.
He's insane.
He's
right?
nuts, but it's a fun time. I tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of him that people love to watch, which is his fighting and his antics. Outside the octagon or cage. Different story. I just got back. First of all, I want to thank our sponsor, Blue Apron. I actually made my first meal with my girl last week, Blue Apron. I cooked. I'm a horrible cook, but we had a Blue Apron night. We made the most delicious shiitake burgers, which I thought was called shit take burgers, which it's not. It's shiitake. And afterwards, we had amazing sex, and it was probably she wasn't there, but no. Afterwards, it was an amazing night. So I highly recommend Blue Apron for all kinds of reasons. I'll tell you about that later. I had a crazy week of shows. I had a show Thursday night at some apartment complex in Oxnard, and it paid really well. So I'm like, okay,
That sounds kind of suspect.
It was actually real nice. It was a real nice apartment, and it was like their activity. It was an early show at 7. It was a very old crowd. There was a couple babies. There was one black woman that was basically breastfeeding the whole show, which I said I was very jealous of her baby. And then there was another woman that was in a wheelchair that halfway through she actually rolled out of the room. Some comics walked the crowd. I rolled the crowd during this show, and I was like, "Where are you going?" And then somebody's like, "I'm her neighbor. She goes to bed at 8:30." So that was she had to go to bed. But it was actually a fun show. It was actually good. Then I had a show for the Navy on Friday night. Which I thought it was going to be for all the young people in San Diego. It was actually the generals and their wives, and it was a really cool. The Navy guys that was awesome. I had to be clean, 45 minutes of clean material. So
That's got to be hard, right?
that was hard. And then Saturday night I did the Moose Lodge in Mira Mesa. I'm on fire. I did the Mira Mesa Moose Lodge, which actually was funny because it was an old guy. There was a lot of veterans there too. And there was this one guy that must have been 80-something years old. He had a hat on. He was just kind of like a miserable dude, but funny. And he was there with his wife, and I was like, how long you guys been married? And they were 60 years. So then the guy gets up to go to the bathroom, and I go to the lady, what's the secret? She's like, communication and laughter, that's the secret. And I go, sir, what's the secret? He goes, great head. Not even looking up. He just said, great head. And the whole fucking place went ballistic laughing. I had a good time. I've had some crazy gigs over there. One of my craziest gigs I ever had was I was driving to, where was I? I was driving to Planet Gemini in Monterey. And I'm driving there, and I'm listening to the radio, local radio on the way over there, and it said, tonight at Planet Gemini, 2 Shorts performing. And I'm like, fuck, I'm at Planet Gemini. What's going on, right? And then I call up, and I'm like, hey, is 2 Short there? And they're like, oh, yeah, tonight. I'm like, is there a comedy show? They're like, yeah, but before the show, it's 2 Short. And 2 Short's from there, right? So I get there, and it's a very Too Short crowd. Yep. A lot of thugs and very scandalous people. But there were a lot of white people too. It was a mixed crowd, but there was some people that I was a little scared. So I go on stage, and the first comic bombed, basically gets booed off. And then I went on, and I was telling my jokes, and they were not getting laughs. So then I was just saying, motherfucker, like after each punchline, and they were laughing. So I was just cursing.
That's a trick.
That was not a good trick. It was years ago, but this trick actually worked. And then the next comic, Delay, went up there. I think it was Delay, and he just no, it wasn't Delay. It was another comic went up there and just did about an hour of shitting on white people, and everyone liked that too.
Yeah.
Right? So then Too Short was supposed to go on at like 9:30, 10. It's now 10:30. It's 11. He's still not on. Like there's like people are getting like pissed off. Like what the fuck? He was getting a blowjob in his hotel in his limo downstairs. Right? That's what everyone said. He had a limo. He was getting a blowjob. So he goes on stage, does like 3 songs, right? And then he's like, his songs are all about money, making money. And he's like, man, fuck this shit. I'm not doing any more songs unless you guys give me $5,000. So he tries to hold up the crowd in the mid-concert, right? So now people start like passing around a bucket to give him money. There must have been like $14 in that bucket. I like no one was giving him any money. But he's like, man, fuck that. Well, you know what? I want 2 sperm swallowers to blow me, right now on stage. So these 2 huge women get on stage like, oh, we'll blow you, Tupac, right? I mean,
Tupac.
Tupac, Too Short. Well, they're like, we'll blow you, Too Short. So these 2 women jump on stage, and he goes, I said sperm swallowers, not sperm whales, right?
Damn.
That's what everyone, the whole fucking thing, right? So now it's like he can only do one more song because it's time. They have to close up.
Yeah.
So now like he ends with one more song. People are fucking pissed, right? Like, all these fights break out. Like, just people are throwing punches, bottles at each other. People are gushing blood. I can't believe how fucking ridiculous this is, right? So the next day, I show up, and the cops are called, the fire department, the whole thing. And the guy says to me, the owner of the club, he goes, hey, man, you were too dirty last night.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was too dirty. Not the fucking riot that happened.
Oh my God.
Not the rapper.
Not the rapper or the fucking brawl that happened. I was too dirty.
Not the guy who tried to rob the entire audience.
The performer who tried to hold up the crowd. That wasn't the complaint.
Evil white man.
Yeah, unbelievable. How are you doing? What's going on with you?
Not too much, man. Just chilling. Had to change some stuff up. Didn't go to Australia like I was supposed to because just before that happened, I got a call from some friends and worked on a show. I was working on a pilot, so they're doing a TV show for the remember the movie SWAT? So they're doing a TV show based on not on those same characters, but on the same principle of a SWAT team. And
you doing like stunts or you do a part?
Stunt acting.
Nice.
I guess. So
okay.
I have a little part, and I have a nice sized part. It'll be
great.
Fun. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a whole lot of fun. Work with Shamar Moore and Kenny Johnson. Lena Esco.
Kenny Johnson, the wrestling coach?
No.
Oh.
The actor, the guy from Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, which guy was that?
Oh. I know he was in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, nice.
I don't know. I didn't watch the show yet.
Oh, I love Sons of Anarchy.
Everybody tells me it's good. And I grew up in the Bahamas, right?
Yeah.
And so I tell everybody this. Sons of Anarchy is like, Harleys and those type of bikes.
Yeah.
We don't have them where I'm from. So I never liked them. Because we have crotch rockets and dirt bikes, You
can still watch the show.
But like I don't like that. I don't like that genre of bikes and that like I don't understand the biker mentality, that type of biker mentality.
Kenny Johnson, he had a big part in Sons of Anarchy.
So I'm gonna check it out because it's supposed to be good. Just like I don't understand meth, but I liked Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So
Untitled SWAT reboot. Yep, I'm looking at it right now. Good for you, man. Good, yeah. Shamar Moore, Stephanie Sigmund, Lena Esco, David Lim. Yeah, a lot of big people here.
Yeah, this was a fun time. Worked on it this week. Worked a couple of days this week, and we had a really they put a lot of money into that show. I don't want to give away.
The girl from Narcos is on it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Good for you.
It's going to be awesome. Some of the stuff we did on Saturday.
Good for you. Now I also see that you've been training with some beasts.
Yeah, like I've been training with Joe and Guy for a while, and just like a lot of stuff in life has been going on, and I've been getting away from that. But after getting back from Florida, I was like, nah, man, I gotta do my thing. And then since I was stuck here, and Joe is one of those guys. I love Joe, man. Guy also, but Joe and I we really get along, and Joe is like. He's like my West Coast Robbie Lawler, He's a dude I could sit around, hang out with, and talk to, and just kind of chill and talk about what's real.
Yeah.
So I had a good time training with those guys. I'm gonna train. We're gonna train again this afternoon. I'm gonna train until I leave on Sunday.
Do you ever train and think to yourself, I should get back in there? Is that going through your mind at all? Come on, Bellator has those big contracts.
It's funny because like every time I go and train with Joe and those guys, they're like, "Man, you should make a comeback," and I'm like, "I'm 40, man. What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Yeah, but you come in here, and we don't like we're training for fights, and you come in and you train with us, and you still are on the level."
Right.
So I don't know. I love fighting, and I would love to do it, but again, it's like that's the easy part. You got to be willing to commit to a camp and do that stuff, and that's what I got to be willing to do if I want to do it again.
Right. I would say unless you're 100%, don't go in there.
Yeah.
By the way, so the remaking SWAT, I don't mind that. I did watch the remake of Baywatch recently.
Yeah, how was that?
I mean, I saw the trailer, and you know, it's
with Dwayne Johnson,
with The Rock, and everything. They got to stop remaking it with like better. They should have the original people in it. Like
they're like 50.
I don't
now.
care. That's what I want. I want to see Pamela Anderson in slow motion, her tits on the sand. You know, she's running, like just leaving a big.
She's gonna trip.
Yeah, she's tripping. Hasselhoff's tits are even bigger than hers. That's what I want to see. Fuck this SWAT bullshit. I mean that's what fuck the real remake of the Baywatch. I want to see like Chips.
I haven't seen it yet.
I want to see with Eric Estrada now. I want to see him breaking the fucking bike because he's so fat and like that's what I want to see. Like they're gonna remake these things, do it with the original actors.
You know they always have those guys in like a cameo. So I wonder what he's doing.
That's what I'm saying.
I gotta see that. We gotta see that together, man.
I'll go see Chips. Now Joe, I gotta talk to you.
What's up?
You came in today. You have a huge hickey on your neck. Now, are you 14? Like, what's going on?
I've never had a hickey before. It's weird.
Who gave you this hickey?
Well, my unofficial girlfriend I've been talking about.
Yeah.
So I've been hanging out with her. We're doing some homework. You know, sometimes things get a little out of hand.
They still say that? We're doing some homework.
Went over to
He
her
really
place.
was. He's in college. He really was doing homework.
Yeah, I was. I mean, yeah.
All right, go on.
So that's pretty much it. You know, nothing crazy happened. My finger banged her. That's it. But that's it.
Now, now when she's giving you a hickey, did it hurt at all? Did it like?
Yes. You can see teeth marks in it too, where she bit.
Yeah, like I mean, she knows that's gonna fuck with you, right?
That's what I said. Yo, you better not give me a goddamn hickey. And she just kept like, all right, it feels good. Do what you gotta do.
Isn't there a thing you can do with that, like a cold spoon or some shit?
They say you can, cold spoon, an ice cube, put aloe vera on it. I tried all of it because I had to go to a family party the next day.
And what'd they say?
Well, I had to wear like my jujitsu like rash guard because it's like a big turtleneck. They're like, why the hell are you wearing that?
Looking like John Danaher.
Yeah, I'm like, just
Joe Danaher.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Dude, that's so funny. Did you watch the Rampage King Mo fight?
Yeah, I did.
My thoughts on this fight were, look, I give King Mo credit. You're fighting a guy 50 pounds heavier than you. I mean, 50 pounds. And he was able to take him down with the wrestling, and he was hurt. The second round, he was hurt, and he recovered and came back. But like, what was that? Rampage. What was that?
I don't know. Like his new nickname, Quinn's new nickname. I don't even call him Rampage anymore. I call him Titties. But yeah, no, that was like he showed up at 253, man. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that used to fight at 205.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, if you're going to fight a heavyweight, I see Rampage being in shape at like 230.
And he wasn't even skinny at 205. Like, he was still like...
Yeah, he was a big, thick guy.
Yeah.
You know, but he had muscles. Now he just has tits.
But he still did better than I thought he was going to do. Like, I thought he was going to just get clobbered the whole time. He still has that power. It shows you how good he could be if he actually took it seriously. Yeah,
but I mean, at this point, how serious can he take it, you know? He's been around for so long, and then again... He's been a champion in the past, you know, right. so the motivation's probably not the same.
It's crazy. The car was okay. Emmanuel Sanchez looked really good. He beat Galvo. He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. And that guy, they had Nod Lahat. He's an Israeli guy. He was in the UFC. He went 2-2 in the UFC. I think the UFC blew it with him because he's the only guy from Israel. Like, and he's wearing a Jewish star. Like, they should have made that. They had they should have had a rabbi walk with him to the octagon or the thing, and maybe have him
fight on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that would have been awesome to have a dreidel. I mean, they should have went all out. But he's good. This kid's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he looked good in that fight. You got the rear naked. Man, sorry, the fights are running together in my head. Because I was really concerned. I was really excited about watching Mo's fight, and I was wondering at the same time. I got home late that afternoon, and I was like, "Do they play those fights later out here?"
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what it was.
That kills them.
Yeah.
But you can watch it on the Spike app live.
Okay.
If you download the Spike app, you can watch it live on your phone or computer, which is still like, you know, I'd much rather watch it. I'd much rather watch it on TV.
On TV, yeah.
That's what killing them. That kills Bellator every time because people know the results and they don't want to watch it after knowing the results. And I actually told Rich that. I told Rich, I go, this is the one thing I would say, out of all the criticism, that's really the only one. Because you have an entertaining product, but people, like, if I know who won the fight, I'm just going to fast forward to the end of the fight.
Right.
You know?
To see how, like, if it's a decision, you're probably not going to watch it.
Right, exactly.
Unless somebody's talking about how awesome it was.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, it's like it kind of ruins it.
Yep.
Because then you're like, you kind of know, yeah, exactly.
You expect, yeah.
But it was a good. The one guy who knocked out Jake the Snake.
Was that the first fight?
Yeah, the first fight. That kid was good.
That kid was really good. That shit happened really quick too.
Yeah.
It wasn't even really a check hook. It was like a check jab. He changed the angle and threw that. It was like a straight punch. It wasn't like a hook. But he's got some power or something. He's pretty accurate too. And I like seeing a young guy like that like jump on somebody and mix it up.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't just headhunting
right
when it was time to finish.
Now, did you train with King Mo?
I have in the past. Well, not like one-on-one with Mo, but like we're on the mat together doing the same things. He's coached me through some things, asked me for some advice on some striking things, you know?
I mean, there was a thread saying that he was the best 205er not in the UFC ever. Do you agree with that?
I can't think of any other 205er that hasn't fought in the UFC except like Ricardo Arona.
Yeah, that was the other one. People were saying Arona is better than him. But
I mean, in their primes, I don't know. Of course, right now I would go King Mo 100% of the time. Mo wouldn't have had anything for Arona back then because he would have been too young.
Right.
But yeah, I think especially right now, Mo is definitely that guy. He's the best 205 pounder that's not been in the UFC.
Yeah, we asked him why he wasn't in the UFC and what he told us, which was crazy. But now today it just got announced that Dos Anjos is fighting Tarek Safardine.
UFC Singapore.
In UFC Singapore.
Yes.
Not Singapore. Singapore.
Whatever, I don't care.
Aren't you? So UFC Singapore.
Aren't you in college?
Allegedly.
I think that's a good fight for Dos Anjos. I think he should win that fight. I think Safardine is a little past his prime and hasn't looked that great recently. I mean, his biggest win recently was probably over Ellenberger, and Jake didn't really show up for that fight either.
The thing I think about that fight, though, is where the trap that RDA could fall into is testing his kickboxing. Taking it too far to test his kickboxing. Safardine is a kickboxer. That's his strength. And yeah, he may be past his prime, but that is his shit. You're not gonna beat him in that game just because you feel good and confident about what you're strong at. So RDA still needs his striking is good and he can, but you gotta mix it up. You gotta change it up on that guy.
Have you ever fell into that trap of like fighting a guy who was better at one style and like you're like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna beat him in jiu-jitsu even though he's a this or
no.
You never fell in that trap?
No, I never fell in the trap of trying to beat a guy in his strength. Because I like shit to be easy.
You're also smart. I mean, it seems like, John Jones seems to be the only guy that can continuously pull that off. I'm going to beat a wrestler and wrestler. I'm going to beat a striker and striker. You know, but other people just doesn't seem to work.
Yeah.
I never understood that. George Gurgel is probably the guy that comes to mind of continuously playing to not his strength.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, I think, is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he would get in the striking contest because he wanted to test himself. And I'm like, do that in the gym.
Yeah.
That's like going up on like doing the Tonight Show and doing all new material. It's like, no, that's not the time to do that.
You got to bring your A game.
Yeah,
every single time, and that's what mixed martial arts is about, man. The fact that it's, for me anyway, the fact that you have all these different options, you know, you the wrestling department, the striking department, the submission department, these are the different chances you have to win this fight. And if you can find that weakness in your opponent, you got to exploit it. You go out there and you're fighting a guy who is well-rounded, you still have that opportunity to find where you're stronger than he is. You know, your submission game is better if you're on top from this guy. So, you know, you just got to find a way to get on top.
Was there a fight with you where like, okay, the first round you couldn't figure it out, but in the second round you're like, oh shit, And I know at wrestling, sometimes I had a really good low single, like low single, like the kind of single you get real low and you blast your shoulder into the guy's shin and take him down that way. And I'm like, oh shit, this is the only move this guy can't defend. So then I would just keep doing that over and over and over again and win the match. Have you ever did that in one of your fights?
There's so many fights I can't remember. I'm sure it's happened at some point. I remember thinking, I remember figuring things out during fights and finding things that I could take advantage of. Like a guy like Hermes Franca, the second time we fought in MFC, the first round he did some things that surprised me. He was longer, and he was longer than he looked. You watch him on tape, and he's a short, stocky guy, but he has these long arms, So that I recognize that from the first fight. The second fight, his striking had gotten a little bit better. He did a few things that I hadn't seen before, and he made me have to change the game. I had to take him down at one point. He got to a guillotine. I was able to defend, things like that. But making adjustments, like, that's the rule, man. The guy that makes the adjustments, that's the guy that's going to win the fights.
Yeah, that was the only thing. With Nate Diaz and Conor, was that second fight. It seemed like Nate was like, I'm just gonna do what I did in the first fight, and Conor really went to school on him. And you gotta give it up for Conor. As much as I wanted Nate to win, I was there. I thought Conor won. As much as I was pulling for Nate in that one. Although some people will still argue that Nate won that fight. Who did you think won the second fight?
I think Conor won it. I think it was close. I wanted Nate to win. I think Conor won it, and it was close, but I can see the argument the other way for sure, and I wouldn't have been upset with it that way.
I think Nate's fight shouldn't have rounds. I think the Diaz brothers, because I think they're going to out-tough almost anybody. They should just keep going.
At the very least, they're going to out-cardio you.
Yeah. I mean, they should go 30 rounds. I mean, Nate Diaz is like, the Diaz brothers have, like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm driving home, and I'm like, man, should I smoke a joint? I'm like, I want to do the bike. I want to do the bike and, lose. I did 99 minutes outside the bike. Well, it's great. I could watch wrestling while watching. I watched not the WWE. I watched the
Nationals.
Nationals. I have every round thing. But I'm like, man, I shouldn't smoke in the ring. But then I think of the Diaz brothers, and I'm like, man, those fuckers smoke a joint and run the marathon. Like, but then that's a trap, because they're those people in school that never studied and would ace the test.
Yeah.
That's just them. They're those people. They do everything their way, and it works out for them. But that doesn't mean you can do it.
You gotta. You can't. But because you're not doing it your way, you're doing it their way. You got to figure out what your way is.
Right.
I think that's what it is. Those guys, amazing, man. My favorite. I think about it all the time. Anytime Nick comes up, my favorite fight is his fight with Paul Daly. Like,
oh my God.
Like the fight, like, there's so many Nick fights that I love. Like when he fought Robbie, we were in the same locker room. That's the night I fought Hermes the first time, and he's in the locker room. He's hitting pads with his coach, and he's just now getting into boxing, I think. And he looks like, his style even now still looks a bit awkward.
Yeah.
But then, he was young, and he's hitting pads, and he's back there talking, I'm gonna knock this motherfucker out. And I'm watching him hit pads, I'm like, not with those. Like, not like that. And then he went out there and did it, with a jab against Robbie Lawler. So that was cool. And then the same thing with Paul Daly. I mean, I don't know if I'm sure he was talking shit, like, because that's just Nick. I'm sure he's talking shit in the locker room. But that fight with Paul Daly's a banger, and Paul Daly cracked him a couple of times. He didn't even flinch. And then he just fucking laid him out too. I love watching Nick fight, man.
I'm telling you, like, when I was at the fights, and I was at the Wonder Boy Woodley fight.
Yeah.
And Nick was heckling, like, this sucks, boring. And normally you turn around and someone's heckling, and you're like, I like to see you getting there. But then with those two, you're like, oh shit, I didn't think this would be a good fight, actually. But then Nate, I was like, Nate, have you ever had a fight where you couldn't get going? He's like, yeah, once in the 8th grade. I was behind the school, and this guy punched me twice, and I punched him twice, and then got broken up. I learned my lesson. I'm like, I wasn't talking about any fight.
A real professional fight.
That's why I'm not sure these guys even know they're in the octagon. They just think it's just a fight, but they're just getting paid for it. They're definitely the most pure mixed. When I think of fighters versus like athletes who turn fighters, the Diaz brothers, I think, of just fighters.
Yeah.
They would have fought in any era of fighting. In like the back in the day with the bare knuckle boxing, they would have done that. Yeah. They would have been gladiators. They would have fought fucking tigers back in the day. They would have fought in the Roman Coliseum. Those guys would have. You could put the Diaz brothers in any generation, and they would have been fighting. I can't say the same about Ryan Bader, you know, or other guys that, nothing against Ryan Bader, but you got the athlete turn fighter, which at times is more dangerous because the athlete turn fighter is usually more disciplined than the fighter turn fighter. Because the fighter turn fighter, and I'm talking about the Chuck Liddells and the Randlemans or the Diaz brothers or the Tank Abbotts.
I don't know if Randleman's a fighter.
Okay,
like Randleman's an athlete.
Maybe Randleman.
I mean, he's a fighter, but of this what we're talking about.
Yeah, he sort of falls into both categories.
Yeah.
But you have let's talk about the Tank Abbotts or the guys like that.
Yeah.
They're not the most disciplined people, but they're going to show up to fight every time. Whereas the college athlete, that the wrestler, he's been doing it since he was 5 years old. And Johnny Hendricks being the exception, or Kelvin Gastelum, who discipline isn't exactly their strongest point, but they're going to show up to practice every day. They're gonna have a dietitian. They're gonna have a nutritionist. They're gonna have people they work with. They're gonna have a strength and conditioning coach. They're going to show up. You know, Phil Davis is not gonna show up to a fight out of shape.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's just not gonna happen. You know, Cabbage, whatever the fuck his name, that guy,
Wesley Cabbage
Correa is gonna show up, but it's gonna be an entertaining fight.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's a different breeds of fighters. I mean, you once you get to the UFC, you only have athletes and fighters, like people who in their heart, that's who they are. You know, guys like Nick, Nate, Robbie, Masvidal, these guys, Dustin, they're born like that. You know, and then you have athletes that can fight, like say Rory, Tyron. You know, Carlos Condit is a fighter. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's fun to watch those guys compete against each other and to cross over and see the fighter versus the athlete. But it's when the athlete can beat the fighter, that's the part that's kind of amazing.
Yeah, no, that's
at that level,
right? But that's kind of what I think what happened, like to a guy like Mayhem. Mayhem fights CB Dollaway. I'll put Mayhem Miller as the fighter and CB Dollaway as the athlete, but the athlete was more disciplined.
Yep.
And that's not always the case, but same thing with comics. Look, I am a comic. I'm a comedian that will do comedy in a fucking youth hostel, I'll do the Improv, and I'll do a donut shop, because I've done it. I've done laundromats, and I'll do a fucking, retirement home followed by the Moose Lodge, and I'll give my best at all times. And then now you have this breed of actor turn comic, and they have 20 minutes or 30 minutes, but they'll only go up at the Laugh Factory or the Improv, and they'll get up 3 times a week. But then meanwhile they're working on their vines, or they're working on their fucking films, and a lot of times they're more successful than me, because they're focused on their hosting gigs or their reels or their acting class, but they're doing comedy as a means to not do comedy. They're doing comedy as a way of making money,
Yeah.
and a lot of females are in this category, a lot of males too. But you see the difference. The unfortunate part is that at the Improv or the Laugh Factory, where it's a crowd that's going to laugh at both, they're shining. But when they go to the fucking, shitty one-nighter bar in Lancaster full of bikers and gang members, and they eat a fucking dick for 20 minutes, and then I go up there and fucking slay, the problem is the only people over there are the fucking bikers and gang members, and they're not going to give me a deal. But you see the point, and you see it's the same. It's kind of a similar thing.
It's very similar. I was talking to Poirier about stuff like that before in the past. That's a tenet of Thug Jitsu. You come up and you fight in these smaller shows. You earn your way to the UFC. You're not this prospect that came out of college, or you're not this guy who's this jiu-jitsu ace, or you're not this guy, or Sage Northcutt. You fucking earn your way by fighting on King of the Cage and AFC. And you fight in New Jersey, and you fight in California, you fight in New Mexico, and you fight in Minnesota, and all these different places, just to create a name and build something for yourself, so that somebody will recognize you at some point.
But that's what happens when Brian Barberena fights Sage Northcutt. Is that Brian Barberena is 11-1 and fought in the fucking shitty organizations, not they're shitty, but whatever, organizations to get there. And Northcutt was picked on looking for a fight, and they're picking Barberena because they think he's going to win, and Barberena goes out and fucking taps him.
Yeah.
That's what happens, you know?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Barberena loses this next fight, and now he's back down to 12-12, and Northcutt's making $100,000 to fucking showcase on Fox as the main event. So, yeah. But anyway, that being said, the fights this weekend, who do you have? You have Cormier or have Rumble?
I watched the first fight, and I think Rumble has he showed really good takedown defense. He can get frustrated with the wrestling, but I think if he recognizes some of the things that he can improve on, I think Rumble wins this fight. I honestly want Rumble to win this fight to kind of shake up the division some too. But and he has a great shot to win the fight. I mean, he's an athlete. You saw it was not easy for Cormier to take him down. The problem I think he has is that muscle boundness and getting tired and starting. You could see it towards the end of the first round. He looked a little bit lacked it, you know. So hopefully that is not the case for him this time around, because if that guy carries that power into 4 and 5, it's sleep time for someone.
But do you think that Cormier is like too smart for Rumble? I mean, he knows how he can lose. He knows he's just landing that shot. He has the advantage in wrestling. Jiu-jitsu, I would say they're about even. They're both not throwing a kick. Maybe Rumble's throwing a kick, maybe. But Cormier's not throwing kicks. So I would say Rumble's a better striker, but Cormier's got some power too. I mean,
yeah, Cormier's got power, but no, you go ahead.
No, well, it just seems that Cormier, the one guy that beat Cormier has been John Jones.
Yeah.
And the one guy that beat him in wrestling was Cael Sanderson. It seems like he only loses to the creme de la creme.
He's like the Merv Griffin.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fuck. He has happened to be in the same weight class as the greatest wrestler of all time. Maybe Dan Gable, but okay, greatest college wrestler of all time. And I know someone's gonna hit me up with some guy that's better than him. I don't care.
I mean, he's the only one that's undefeated. So.
Right. So, and now with John Jones, I'm talking about in wrestling, he loses to Cael, and now John Jones. I still think John Jones is. People say Fedor. I think Jones is the best of all time. You know, so it just seems it's just unlucky as far as that. But do you think like Cormier? I mean, he got hit with Rumble the first time. He felt his power. I think he underestimated him the first fight, how hard he can hit. He'd never been hit that hard before, but now he knows that.
Yeah. Also, I watched that shot. I've been watching that fight a lot just because I'm getting ready for I'm doing that one for Fox also.
Yes. All right.
So I watched that again, and the angle on that, like Rumble didn't even get everything behind it. It was because of the angle, not because he didn't throw it with everything. It was just the angle that his feet were planted. He was kind of squared. Cormier took the shot. I don't know if he can take a full-on blow from Rumble. I don't know if anybody can. But Cormier, I mean, he is the more learned fighter. He's the more cerebral fighter, I think. But that's not to say that Rumble is not intelligent. He doesn't have a competent fight IQ. It's just that I think Cormier has the skills, certain different skills that give Rumble a problem, and then also being able to get up from underneath that guy.
Who do you think has a better shot at beating John Jones?
I think Rumble has a better shot at beating John Jones. Like honestly, and this is my opinion, and if you don't like it, that's too bad. But like, I truly believe DC is only the champion because John Jones can't get out of his own way. That's it.
Well, yeah. I mean, that he was given the championship.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't given. He
had to beat Rumble for it.
Rumble. It's not necessarily given it, but yes, of course.
But the other thing about that is that happened like a month out. And so, yeah, DC was in shape, and taking that fight wasn't too hard for him. Style-wise, it was easily that's a choice you should make, like really quick, just because of the styles. But on top of that, Anthony was getting ready for John Jones. That's a completely different guy. And in 1 month to fight somebody, yeah, John Jones's wrestling skill is a high level, just like DC's, but he's built differently. He will engage in the striking more so than the DC will. So it's a different fight. And I don't know necessarily if that short amount of time to change his gears hurt him, but he's got a full camp this time to prepare specifically for DC.
He
I
also
think that could
definitely
help.
gassed. He gassed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You saw it a little towards the end of the first round. You know, you saw him kind of tight and sluggish. And then when he was on his back, he wasn't doing anything but throwing punches back.
Right.
You know, so.
Who do you think wins, Joe?
Well, I agree with Yves, but I would like to see Rumble win, shake up the division a little bit. But I think Cormier is going to win this time again based on wrestling. And it's cool because actually Anthony Johnson is the minus 120 favorite in this fight.
Really?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what is Cormier right now?
He's plus 100.
Huh.
Wow, that might be a good bet for Cormier. Fuck, this is a tough one. This is a good fight because I can see both of them winning. Those are the fights that are fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in South Carolina during this fight. I'm going to try to get it. The Weidman Mousasi fight. That's the one where I got to go with Chris. I hope Chris wins. I know we had Colby Covington on. He said that he heard through the grapevine Chris. It's ever since USADA came in, different fighter. But man, how does Mousasi get better with age? I mean, this dude.
How old is he?
He's like 70 years old.
Wow.
He's getting better. Like, this makes no fucking sense. But at the same time, he hasn't fought a wrestler in a while. I mean, he fought Mark Munoz, but Munoz, I mean, just his fight IQ, he doesn't necessarily go with his wrestling. Man, I want Chris to win so bad. I don't know. Yves, who wins this fight?
I think this is a bad fight for Weidman. That's my opinion, though. The reason I say that is because Mousasi has good wrestling defense, especially for a Dutch cat. But his wrestling defense is pretty solid, and he's competent on the ground. I mean, he was able to stave off Jacare for a couple of rounds over in Japan and over here. I mean, yeah, he got submitted in the third, but Jacare took him down both rounds and was on top for a significant amount of time in both those rounds in the UFC. He has really good takedown defense, and he uses his striking as a part of his takedown defense. That range, he keeps you at a good range, and that initial shot, he stuffs that. You've got to get in and chain wrestle him, but it's hard to get tied up with Mousasi. He's smart about making space and getting back to his range, and I think that's the problem for Chris.
So you think Mousasi wins?
I think Mousasi wins this fight.
Damn.
Mousasi's a favorite.
What's the odds here?
Minus 130 favorite for Mousasi, plus 110 underdog for Weidman.
I got to bet on Weidman.
You got to bet.
I may have to put some money on Weidman.
Yeah, that's definitely a bet to take.
I mean, also because if he wins, I'll just be happy. Like I can never bet against someone I want to win. I mean, this is hard to do, especially if they've been on the podcast. I just can't do it. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't bet. What the fuck do I need to do? I gotta say money. I gotta say money for the wedding.
But if you win the bet, you can have an even better wedding.
I know, man. It's just we're doing the marriage counseling, me and the girl, pre-marriage counseling at her church, which is always great when you're Jewish. And the pastor went over like money. As far as yesterday, it was like the lesson was saving money. Yeah, and my girl's pretty good with money. We're gonna combine joint accounts when we get married. Did you do that with your? Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good idea or a bad idea. It's probably, but because she goes shopping a lot at night, at like 4 a.m. She buys all the stuff in China.
Do you keep an eye on your bank account?
Once a week, I'll check the balance. I mean, not like...
Yeah, you check the balance, but you don't check the details, right?
A little bit, but I don't want to get depressed. It's like, sometimes I don't even want to look at it. It's like when I go to the ATM and it's like, you want to check your balance? I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't know. I know it's there. I know it's not there. I don't need to get depressed. I'm doing a lot better than I was. I mean, you're talking to a guy, I was thinking like less than 10 years ago, 7 years ago, I had negative money in my account. Like I was hitting my overdraft like 3 or 4 times a month. I had negative $800 in my account. That's the worst. The worst is because you'll have money and then like 7 will hit it at a time, and then all of a sudden it's just negative, and then you go to like McDonald's, right? And it's like a $4 cheeseburger, and you're like, fuck, if I'm at negative 220 in my account, this is gonna cost me $27 or 20 plus 4. It's $24 for this fucking cheeseburger, and then you start like doing the math. Well, I could die if I don't eat. Is my life worth $24? It's just
you're not gonna die in one day.
I know, but I really wanted that cheeseburger. So there's nothing worse than having to like go through your house looking for loose change. to like spend money on like food. So I've been there. That's why I'm frugal with money now, for the most part. Like my girl's always like, I'm like, no, because I don't want to have to go back to showing up with quarters and pennies and nickels to buy food. It's not a fun. It's just your whole life you're just doing math all day. I'm doing math all day now, and it's just not good. So I don't know. All right. That being said, yeah, that was rough. That was rough when I remember I was in Europe, or I was in China, and I had like -7, and my card stopped working in China. I was in Japan for the military, doing a comedy show for the military. I'm like, I had no way to take money out.
They should be giving you per diem.
I know, it was a great tour back then. So I ended up hopping the turnstile in Japan to get on the subway to get back to the base, and you know I could have got arrested for that.
Yeah,
especially in Japan where I'm the only white person in the fucking like. Talk about who did it.
Get fish soup for dinner.
Yeah, those were not fun days at all. But you know, I remember one time I was driving to San Diego, and I didn't have enough money for gas. I had enough money for gas on the way there, and I was doing a gig, but I had CDs for sale. So the only way to get back was to sell my CDs. So I was like, I'm gonna have a good set, and I ended up making like $80 in CD sales. But I was like, fuck, if I hadn't, I would have been fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, that was. Those are fun days, man.
At least you're humbled now. Those experiences humble you, right?
Oh, of course, man. I mean, I get it, but I just keep getting humbled. I remember one time I got thrown out of this comedy club in Arizona. This guy told me to be clean. I was getting $400 for the week to feature, the whole week. And
pretty good, right?
I had to drive out there, though.
Never mind.
So fine. So the guy's like, the headliner didn't like me because I had a better set than the headliners. He already was like a vet who hadn't written a joke in 10 years. And the owner of the club was a former principal of a school. And he's like, I want you to be clean tomorrow. I'm like, okay. And I wasn't. I was as clean as I could have been, but it wasn't clean. So at the afterwards, he fucking throws me in this, like, I'm in this closet, basically. And the guy's like, you weren't clean. You sent us your VHS.
Stay in there until you learn.
Yeah, that's what you get to send VHSs back then, right? I watched your VHS, and you did Craig Kilborn, and that was clean, and I haven't even been on Craig Kilborn. And I was like, obviously. So the guy fucking threw me out, right? So now, and like the waitress was actually pretty cute, and he liked her, so I like made out with her before I left, just to really piss him off. So I'm driving back from Arizona, and I hit something. I get a flat tire, and there's no off ramp. Just the side of the road. So I gotta fix the car by myself, you know? And I'm from New York, I can fix the fucking tire, right? So, but I'm fixing a tire, I look up, there's no light, just the moon, right? That's the only light I see, and there's a sign that said, Arizona State Prison, do not pick up hitchhikers. I'm like,
oh, crap.
Yeah, I'm like, great, this is the fucking beginning of a fucking terrible movie. But that's the end of the story. Nothing ever happened. But yeah, I've had some terrible experiences in comedy, and some great ones. I was telling my friend, I got into a fight with this comic in Africa. This guy named Little Bro. He was this black comic and he just kept fucking with me the whole time. Like, it was 10 years ago, and he was like he was calling me gay, or he was saying that like all I said was Eddie Murphy movies weren't as good as they used to be, and he fucking went off on me. That's Eddie Murphy. You know. So then the whole time he's fucking with me, this guy, just constantly. So we go to Bahrain. And there's a massage parlor. So we walk into the massage parlor, and it's all trannies, like transgenders. You can't call them trannies. Transgender people. So we fucking run out. But he locks the door. He locks me in, right? So then I was like, aha, you got me, funny. So then I just wanted to get away from him. So I go back downtown to Bahrain, and he's like, you're going back to those transgender. Okay, whatever. So now we go, and like we have to get through customs in Africa. We go to Djibouti, Africa, and they try to shake us down. Even though we paid to get in the country, they were like, no, you owe us $100 or something. So I paid, and then he had no money, so I paid for him. I was already fucking pissed. I knew I wasn't going to get my money back. And the guy was bombing every night on stage. He was going up there going like, yeah, George Bush is a fucking asshole, like to the troops. Great job. That's their fucking chief. So, and then he's closing with like peanut butter on his balls, like that whole bit. Very original comedy, right? So then the troops are there, and I just started coaching wrestling again out here. So I'm already like, wrestling's not in my mind, right? So we go to the troops, and it's backstage, and there's all these like bottles of liquor, and everyone's drinking, and I had a couple drinks. And I don't really drink that much, but I had 3 or 4 beers, and this guy's like, hey man, this guy's gay, he's fucking gay. Like, that's to the troops. And I'm like, all right, enough of this shit. So I took his hat. He was wearing like a wool hat, and I snuffed it over his head. I'm like, oh yeah, like, now what are you gonna do? So the guy came up to me, so I gave him an over and under hook, and I just hip tossed him. Like, his feet went in the air, boom, right? Hit all the bottles, right? So broke all these bottles, and I'm like, what's up, motherfucker? I fucking put my fist back. Now the troops break it up. Now, it's our first night there, and we're the comics.
Yeah.
So this fucking guy, Sergeant Haggerty, remember this guy, Sergeant Haggerty, takes us. He's like, what the hell? Takes us both into his bathroom. And he goes, man, you're supposed to be here, cheering us up. Now you're fighting. You need to find Jesus in your life, right? And he goes, here's what I'm going to do. I'm either going to take your money or I'm going to punch you in the stomach. That's how I do my boys. So we're like, fuck it. I just spent all my money. He had no money. I'm like, punched in the stomach. So the fucking sergeant punches both in the stomach, right? But it didn't hurt because my adrenaline was up from throwing that guy in his head.
Yep.
And then he fucking told on us. I got docked $100. He said he wasn't gonna tell on us. He fucking told on us.
Wow.
You probably should have doubled over more.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's probably upset that he didn't hurt you.
Yeah. That was the story I wanted to tell. Anyway,
It's
how
hilarious.
Good. Thanks, man. Patrick Cote, Thiago Alves. Who wins this fight?
Oh, that's a good fight. I don't know who wins. I'm rooting for Thiago, of course. I'm studying those guys today, actually, and I know Pitbull well. We train together a lot. He taught me a lot of cool little tricks, but I just want to see what Cote's, the things that he, I want to see the intricacies of his game, and that's what I'm missing right now. I know a lot of the ones of Thiago, and I'm rooting for Thiago. I think this is a good fight for him, moving back up to welterweight, not worrying about the weight cut so much. He'll make the weight pretty easily, and I think he'll have the confidence that he didn't have against Miller to kind of keep his pace up. I watched the fight with Miller, and he did some things that just aren't in his character, and I think he will be a regular Thiago Alves. The real Thiago Alves will fight in this fight. And Patrick Cote ain't no joke though. So I can't tell you who I think will win, but I'm rooting for Thiago. And after I watch Cote, I'll have a better idea.
Now, were you in Florida when the other Thiago Silva went crazy and that whole thing happened with the standoff?
Actually, I was there, but he wasn't at the gym anymore. He wasn't with ATT then. He was with the Black Zillions at that point.
Okay.
But I've trained with Thiago Silva before.
Is he a nice guy, but just what you get in the wrong side and then he just goes crazy? Is that the kind of?
He's weird, man. He's weird.
He's an interesting cat.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Will Brooks versus Oliveira. Will Brooks, fuck, man. There's a guy who, when he knocked out Chandler twice, he beat Chandler.
Yep.
Second time, I think he stopped him.
Second time's when he knocked him out.
I thought like him going to the UFC, he was going to create a major shitstorm. And that other Oliveira fight he lost, the Cowboy, the guy that missed weight.
Yeah.
It came in heavy, but Will didn't look that great in that fight.
No.
Injury, something, or what happened?
No, he took those knees to the body, and that didn't help. I don't know. I think Will can get in his own head sometimes. Hopefully he doesn't this time. I think the weight, missing the weight, he kind of put too much on that. And it's focus on the fight, Now
you train with Will?
Yeah, I train with Will. Man, that dude's an athlete. I remember the first time I trained with him, we were kickboxing, and I felt like I was the much better kickboxer, but this kid was faster than me. I'm not used to that. You know what I mean? So that was uncomfortable. But he can do everything. We were training last time I was down there in Florida. This is something I always tell people you don't do when you go for that single and you catch the leg and then you pinch the leg with your own legs.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's garbage. It's not going to work. That's bullshit. And every time somebody does that to me, I just inside trip them. Like, Will has the biggest, strongest legs in the world. He's pinching, and I can't do anything about it. Like, it's a good 30, 40 seconds. He's working, and he has my leg pinched between his legs, and I can't get it back. I push his head away. I do all these things, try to get the space, and I can't do it. He's really strong and powerful, and I'm like, well, fuck it. I got this whizzer. I got that leg throw in the middle. I'm just gonna get him hopping, and I'm gonna fucking run that Uchimata or something, and I started running his hips and getting him to move, but he still kept my leg pinched, and I tried to throw him, and that was just a bad decision. He fucking launched me.
So he can make a run, you think?
Will, he's really good. Can he make a run? I don't know. We gotta see who shows up to fight. You know, he's really good in the room. He's really good you saw him fight against Chandler, but he hasn't shown his best in the UFC yet. You know, I think this is a good fight for him. In that Oliveira, technically, he's probably better striking and on the ground, but Will, and that's not by much, not by a whole lot, but Will is more explosive. He's more powerful. He's a better athlete, I think, and I think that's his opportunity to win this fight, and he can put on a good showing against a guy like that.
He's been quiet on Twitter. I get nervous when he's quiet.
Will?
Yeah. When certain guys that... Hello, is this Brooke Mayo?
Yes, this is her.
You're on the MMA Roasted podcast. I'm here with Yves Edwards, legendary fighter / now UFC commentator / actor / stunt double / just cool black guy, as well as Joe the Kid Perez. How are you, Brooke?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on the podcast, number one.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Your last fight, by the way, your first fight was a war. Nothing to be upset about that. You fought your ass off, and they stopped it because your eye was so black. It got pulled over by the cops. I mean, this eye was a fucked up eye. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was. I mean, nothing like I was that surprised over, even watching it back again. I didn't even, to be honest, during the fight, I didn't know my eye was swollen. I had no idea what was going on. I thought they were taking a point from me, or I thought I was getting something. I didn't think it was medically related when the fight was stopped. I was like, oh, did I grab the cage? What's going on? So it was kind of a shock to me.
Now, you fought a tough girl, Vita Artiga, who I thought beat Yankova. Tough scrapper. Did you think that if that fight wasn't stopped, you would have won?
I do think so. I think it would have been closer of a decision than I would have liked it to be. I know there were some things I could have done a lot better, and I didn't really necessarily fight like myself that night. I think I have a lot more skill than I showed, but I think I could have pulled out a split decision win.
I mean, they threw you in there. This was your first fight. This was your first fight. They threw you in there with a tough chick, but it was entertaining as hell. That was the fight of the night. Did you get any kind of bonus for that fight?
No, unfortunately, I did not. And on top of it, I also had my win bonus taken, so I actually came up a lot more short than I would have hoped.
Damn.
But it happens. I'm back, trying to work and do what I got to do. But hopefully, I just really want to fight again. That's all I'm really trying to accomplish.
Now, you live in Northern California. Where are you training?
I'm training with House Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in San Francisco, and I also train with Dan Black for my striking, and then I go to 3rd Street Boxing for my boxing training now.
Now, I read it in an article that where you said that because you're a hot chick, a lot of times you would go to gyms and people would try to fuck you up. You had to go leave those gyms. Is that what happened?
Yeah, it's either one or the other sometimes. When you train with people that don't necessarily know you that well, it's either they're pushing you really, really hard and they're going to try to show you, what's up, or they do the opposite and they baby you. So now it's a little bit different. Now they have more of a secure gym situation, but so it's I have some training partners that really help me out and that are good, but before, when I was just starting out, it was kind of tough finding a good training partner.
Did you train over at Josh Thompson's gym?
I have not, actually. He's a really great guy, though. We've talked a few times.
Now, is he still upset about Yves knocking him out? Because that happened a long time ago. Does he still have a big chip on his shoulder?
Wait, what was that? Sorry, you cut out.
Did he mention Yves knocking him out? Because I heard everywhere he goes, he still talks about Yves doing that to him.
Oh, really? I haven't had that conversation, but next time I see him, I'm definitely going to bring it up.
Oh, yeah, definitely bring it up.
That's awesome.
And then tell him that Yves is still gloating about it and talking about it every single day. And that if he wants a rematch, bring it on. So now you played college soccer?
What are you eating?
Yes, I did for St. Mary's College.
Yeah, but what are you eating?
What are you
That's
eating
what I
right
want to
now?
know.
What am I what?
Eating.
Sounds like you're eating bugles or some shit.
What are you eating?
What am I eating right now?
Yeah.
Like right now?
Yeah, like and then like the last minute.
Sorry, you're cutting out. I don't know why I cannot hear you.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear us now?
Yeah, sorry. I'm like all out and about. What was that? One more time. What am I eating right now?
Yeah, it seems like you're chewing something. Are you eating something?
Oh, no. I actually have like a little bit of a cold, so it sounds like I'm like super congested. My bad.
I got it. Okay, no problem. All right, that was Yves' question. That's why he's on Fox Sports and I'm not, because of his hard hitting questions. Now, it seems like I was reading about you last night. It seems like you have a very busy life. You're a flight attendant, a soccer coach, and a fighter in Bellator. Do I have this right?
Yeah, and then I also nanny on the side sometimes, and I have a lot of random odd jobs.
Like, I mean, are you Mexican? Like, what is? How come you have 37 jobs?
A Jamaican?
A Jamaican? Like what?
No, I'm actually Portuguese and Irish, but I live in the Bay Area, so it's kind of like trying to live out here is tough, and you have to have like 5 jobs just to rent a room. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So that's why when that whole thing went down with Bellator, it hurt a little bit more because I was like, damn, I got to go back to work. I went back to work like a week after my fight, actually.
Now, what private airline are you a flight attendant for?
Kaiser.
No, and now you're not one of these girls that goes to Dubai and like parties, are you? Like that. Whole...
I'm not a partier, like necessarily. Like my friends and I have fun as a crew, like if we ever go out together. But sometimes we have some like kind of fun trips. Like one time we did a charter to Hawaii for a week, so that was a blast.
That's awesome.
We've flown like the Rolling Stones before. We fly the San Jose Sharks currently. I've flown the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team after they won the World Cup. We've flown, we flew some Saudi Arabian princess, I believe, one time.
You guys hiring?
It was like a princess. So it was kind of crazy. We get some cool clients sometimes.
Now, are these guys constantly hitting on you? Like, hey, listen, we're gonna be in Hawaii. Why don't you come party with us?
I mean, not really. Like, I try not to like talk to the client like that at all. Like, try to keep it professional.
Yeah, but the Rolling Stones they don't give a shit.
They were awesome. They were so fun. Like, they were like the nicest people, actually. Like, super cool. They were just like, we just want Absolute and lemonade. I'm like, what? Like, you guys are awesome. They're pretty fun. So they're chill. But yeah, I haven't had anything like too weird like at work. Like when I used to be a hostess at a bar, and that was a little weird. I had some people like put hands on me and stuff. I was like, whoa, dude. Whoa. I'll jump on your back and choke you. Don't do that. But yeah, it happens. But I try to keep like a professional vibe about me so people know not to mess with me like that.
Now, I was enjoying your pictures until I saw your boyfriend on Instagram. He looks like a homeless caveman. Who is this guy? He's a fighter too, right?
Yeah, he's a professional fighter as well. He fights for Bellator too, and he also has wrestled since he was like 5. So his fight name is the Silverback because he seriously fights like a gorilla. He just like throws people like it's nothing.
That's awesome.
And it's cool.
Yeah, no, you guys seem very happy together, so I'm very happy for you guys. So that's cool.
Thanks.
Now, when you went on the flight attendant, you had that huge black eye. Did people on the flight think that your boyfriend beat you up or something, or did they ask you if you're okay?
In the store, like when we went to Safeway a few times, like I saw people taking pictures of us and all this stuff. So I was laughing about it, and so was he. He kept like making jokes, like, "I told you not to do that, woman!" Like yelling in the store. And I was like, "Nick, stop!" Like, so I'm gonna like actually call the police. But when I went to work a week later, I actually didn't have a bruise really. Like, I mean, there was a little bit under the eye, but it was actually like almost completely gone. I think I posted a picture like that day. I like just wore a special concealer and I was good. So no one really was able to see it too much, except for like in the corner of my eye there was like some blood still kind of like
It was sick.
Collected at the corner.
That was crazy. You're a warrior. Now, as far as soccer goes, how so you played Division I soccer. How close were you to becoming a pro soccer player?
I mean, I was pretty close. Like, I played semi-professionally with Brady Chastain and CC, who was like captain of the Brazilian team for the World Cup in 1992. Like, so that was my semi-professional experience when I was in college. I was pretty close, but then I had that nasty surgery, so it kind of prevented me from pursuing that.
What surgery?
That career. I had exertional compartment syndrome in both of my calves, where your muscle gets too big for the fascia. So that's why, like, I don't really lift a lot of weights now. Like, I do some, like, very light, stuff when it comes to lifting weights, like a lot of kettlebells and stuff like that, but I don't do a ton of, like, Olympic lifts just because my body builds muscle really quickly. So basically I didn't have room in my calves for all my muscle, and they had to operate on it.
Fuck. Now, how did the Silverback get a girl like you? Because I'm sure there are a lot of beautiful girls. Well, not a lot of them, but there's some hot chicks at the gym. Our listeners are pretty lonely. Most of them have never gotten laid before. But they'll see a girl like you, and I'm sure they'll want to know, how do I get a girl like Brooke Mayo?
What I look for, like, in a guy?
Yeah.
I obviously, like, humor for me is big. Like, you don't necessarily have to be, like, the hottest guy. Like, obviously my boyfriend's really hot, but I really like someone who can make me laugh. I obviously like somebody who's into grappling and MMA like me. So for all you listeners out there, go train, start learning, get yourself a good girlfriend. But yeah, I mean, it's good to share, like, the same passion with somebody. So I really look for somebody who's, at least passionate about some sort of sport. And yeah, I mean, that's really about it. Someone that can make me laugh, someone that is into sports and maybe fighting. And yeah, I'm pretty simple. I'm not too I'm not too high maintenance.
Brooke, as a fighter, a female fighter, do female fighters need to date fighters?
You don't necessarily have to. I don't think, as long as the person supports you, I don't think it matters the whole time. But I think it makes it a little easier, especially, if the person trains, they understand that there's nothing, weird, when you roll or when you're training with other guys. Because, I mean, as a girl, you're mainly going to train with men. So I think that helps if they, have trained and understand the gym dynamic. Because I've dated some people that didn't fight, and they're like, oh, this is sexual or this is this. I'm like, no, it's actually not. You got to train and understand it, to know what's going on.
Do you ever want to kick their asses because they don't understand and they're just like Nancy boys?
Sorry, what was that?
Okay, when these exes of yours who had a problem with you training with a guy, did you ever want to beat on them because they were Nancy boys and they didn't understand it?
There's one guy, I choked out in the gym just because I was kind of mad, at how he was, training with me. He was like, oh, hey, and I'm like, I don't want to talk right now. We're trying to roll, we're trying to train. I don't have time for this flirting and this stuff. My time is valuable since I work a lot. So I'm like, when I'm in the gym, I want to, get my rolls in. And he just kept kind of trying to talk to me like that. And I was like, dude, I kind of put it on him a little bit more than I might have with someone else. But yeah,
Wait,
that happens
did he go
occasionally.
unconscious?
No, I didn't do that, but I just made him tap. I kind of heard the gurgling sound. I was like, okay, tap. I see one of my friends put a guy out though, or almost. But Kurt yelled at her. I was like, let him go, stop that, because he hurt another girl in the gym. They kind of look out for each other like that sometimes. Now,
some of your Instagram posts though, you're in your lingerie in front of a mirror with your tats everywhere, and does your boyfriend get mad at that at all or no?
We talked about it. He does not obviously for me to post super like stuff like that all the time. Like he was like, oh, like I need to, I don't want you to just like show it all for everybody. And I'm like, I totally get that. But like I explained like that to him a little bit more too. I was like, you know, like I shouldn't feel like I should be ashamed of my body anymore, because I was for a long time, like playing soccer when I was like really muscular, and you know, I got made fun of a lot growing up. So I kind of explained to him, like, you know, posts like this, like people really can connect with sometimes, like women. I don't really do that stuff like with guys in mind. It's more like, hey, like it's okay to like, you know, be a little bit bigger, this or that, or it's okay to have muscles. It's okay to have tattoos, you know, it's okay to be yourself. So like I tried, like, I mean, that post to me, I was like, okay, this is like a bathing suit.
You're like a 10. What are you talking about? Like, oh my God, I want to inspire everyone that it, like what other hot models that they could post. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm totally for it. But like, I mean, you're not some like, you know, overweight girl with cellulite posting pictures. This is not, you know, the girl from Girls. What's her name? Nina, whatever the fuck.
I don't watch that shit.
This is not Nina Dunham here. I mean, you're like a smoking chick in lingerie, but you're doing that to inspire other smoking chicks in lingerie. If so, I'm totally for it.
I think like people who know me or who grew up with me have maybe seen a little bit more of like how I've been treated, how I've been talked to, how I've been made fun of. So even if, you know, to your guys' perception, like that's what you guys see, right? When I look in the mirror, I don't see that sometimes because of, you know, my experiences. So, I mean, it's good to know, like, thank you for saying that. I, like, you know, was like, that's really nice. But like I said, I was always told how big I was, you know, how manly I was, like, for years of my life. So it's just starting to click now, like, that I'm not that way.
Yeah.
As crazy as that sounds. But that's the type of world we're kind of living in today.
I think you need to fix your mirrors, because that's what I think. But I hear you. I think whoever made fun of you is a fucking idiot. And but, you know, but kids can be mean. I mean, I used to get. I don't know. I used to get made fun of too, and it sucks. But I think just like you, you know, I'm not saying bullying is good, but it does sometimes force you to like in like the future, you know, kind of, you know, strive to achieve greatness. By the way, I'm now showing Yves and Joe your picture of you in the bra and panties. What do you guys think? This is, I mean, she looks.
It's not bad.
Is that really that bad? Because I've seen some stuff that's really out there. Like it was.
No, you look great. You look great, honestly. And I think, and if you inspire more girls to do that, I think I'm all for that.
I don't want to be like a try hard and be like, oh, look at me, like top, like completely nude or anything like that. But I was like, hey, like, and I took that picture when I was actually 150 pounds. So normally I don't walk around that heavy, and normally like I have a little bit more muscle definition. But my friend was like, hey, like, can I do some photos of you? And at first I was like, oh, I'm kind of heavy, like I don't know. And then I was like, whatever, I'm gonna do it. So that was another whole thing behind that too. I was like, okay, that's not like me in like the best shape. Like I'm not bad shape, but like not in the best shape ever. And for me to do that and put it out there was, you know, kind of not something I would have done before.
Yeah, no, I think you should. Right? No, I totally get it. Now the picture of you and your friends taking a pole dancing class.
Let me see that one.
Now is that to inspire more girls to do pole dancing?
Okay, so that was my first ever class. I wish I did it again because it was, dude, one of the hardest things I've ever done. I was like, what the hell? My friend, if you go, I think she's tagging the picture, Patricia Nobles. She's like, dude, she's a purple in jiu-jitsu, but she's also like a savage on the pole, and she's so strong. Like when I roll with her, I'm like, dang, why is this girl so strong? And then I took her class, and I was like, okay, this is why. Like me trying to like get up there and pull my. At first, it looks easier than it is, but it's so freaking hard. But so that was like a class of us jiu-jitsu girls that all trained together, trying it for the first time, trying to be like. It was funny. She taught during the warm-up. She was trying to teach us how to be sexy and stuff, and you could tell we're all like kind of awkward and uncomfortable. But like towards the end, everybody like stripped it down and was like, yeah, like having a like hella fun time. Well, so it was definitely cool.
Well, if you ever need like a judge or if you ever want to go the next level and do lap dancing, the guys in MMA Roasted, I'm sure we were more than happy to, right?
The only thing I took from that story was she said she's a savage on the pole.
Okay.
The girl's a savage on the pole. That's what Eve got.
That's all I heard. I stopped listening after that.
Yeah, there's 5 of you. Who's the girl doing splits on the bottom? Who's that girl?
So that's Patricia. You guys have to look up her next because she's literally like a pole jiu-jitsu savage. She's awesome.
Nice.
She's a girl I train with a lot. You should go to her profile. She has like lap dance videos. She has the craziest videos. If you want to see crazy stuff, go to her.
Yeah, I think that could be a new thing. Like at EBI or Metamoris, the girls compete in jiu-jitsu and then pole dancing, and then see who wins. Like, you might have tapped me out, but I'm much better on the pole.
Yeah,
right. I think that could. I think
I can see it too,
I'm a
man.
savage on the pole.
Yeah, I think we could combine sports.
She has pole cred.
Yeah, she has pole cred. That's awesome. So, well, listen, we got to get your boyfriend on the podcast. He's 6-1. He lost his last fight. That was his first loss. Was he really angry afterwards? Was he cool? How did he handle his first loss?
He was obviously he was really upset, and I felt I was there, and we both he was rocked, but I don't think he was not going to continue to fight, So it was he felt like it was a little early of a stoppage, so he was upset about that. But he's doing better now. He's getting ready for ADCC trials, and I'm excited to go down and watch him kick some ass and throw some people into the stands. But it was definitely tough for him. He definitely hasn't experienced a loss like that before. So
yeah,
he's working to come back from that. So
do you guys live together?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, nice. And how long you guys been dating for?
We've been dating for a year and some change, I think. A year and a couple months.
Now, this is me and my girl. Today's our 1-year anniversary. We're getting married in June. She got me something.
Ooh, congratulations.
Thank you. I haven't got her a present yet, though, today. What do you think I should get her? Any suggestions? Okay,
well, I don't know her, but flowers are always safe to go with.
Yeah.
Everyone likes flowers. And you definitely should get her maybe a small, I don't know, a jewelry piece, earrings or a necklace. Is she girly? Does she like jewelry?
She is girly. Yeah, she's very girly. Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with a necklace or earrings or both.
Nice.
If you want to be a real boss about it.
Maybe pole dancing lessons? Should I give her some?
Yeah, maybe pole lessons with Patricia.
With Patricia, yeah, in NorCal. I love it. Well, listen, Brooke Mayo, you're a breath of fresh air. Where can people follow you and find you?
So you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram is bmayo1313. Twitter, I think, is Brooke13_Mayo. And then Facebook, you can go follow me at my athlete page, Brooke the Bully Mayo.
All right, love
What's
it.
What's the 13 for, Brooke?
Oh, that was actually my soccer number in college. It's actually kind of my lucky number.
Now, are you calling it? Do you want to call anyone out in Bellator? Anyone that you want to fight right now? Anybody you want to call out?
I mean, I still really, really want the Anastasia fight, really, really badly. I know that they're probably not, thinking that right now, but her next opponent this weekend that she's fighting is 0-1 in Bellator too. So I'm hey, it looks like I'm on the same, playing field of the opponents that she's fighting anyway. So why not?
All right. Well, we're gonna make that happen. We're gonna put it on Twitter that you want Anastasia. Thank you very much, and have a great week.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Thanks guys.
Bye. That was Brooke Mayo. Yeah, pretty girl. Pretty girl, cool Northern California chick.
I remember her Bellator fight when she had the big massive eyeball thing. I thought she was winning that fight too, right?
It was close.
It was close.
So she fought the Kool-Aid girl, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Cool chick. I mean, it's hard, I guess, when Bellator because there aren't that many girls to fight.
What is she fighting at? 35 or 15?
I think it's 25. I want to say
25. Okay.
But it's hard because there aren't that many girls. It's not like other leagues where, LFA or RFA, you can get the 5 starter fights. It's like Bellator went right to Bellator, with the second biggest organization in the world. But I think she's gonna do well. She has a good spirit. Needs to take less jobs, focus more on training. Holy shit. You know, fucking flight attendant and soccer coach and fighter and girlfriend, and she's
Pole dancer.
and babysitting. I mean, how much is fucking rent in Stockton, where the fuck she lives? I mean, she doesn't. I guess how much? I think she lives like in Concord or something. I don't think it's even that crazy.
I don't know anything about Northern California other than San Francisco.
I mean, San Francisco is expensive. Not like it's like LA or New York. New York. I mean, any place where you don't need a car is expensive for some fucking reason. But I liked her attitude. She's got a funky attitude, like cool, just. You know, I like Northern California girls are usually like my girls from Fresno. Mm-hmm. It's like they're my favorite girls because they have the looks of Southern California girls, but they have the attitude of New Yorkers. You know, like they just have this down to earth thing about Northern California girls, and they're hot, but they keep it real. Maybe it's the weather or whatever it is, but I don't know.
I can definitely see myself spending the rest of my life with this woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I mean,
dating for 2 weeks gave you a hickey yesterday.
No, this girl that we're talking to on Skype.
With Brooke Mayo?
Yeah.
She had a boyfriend.
You should kick his ass,
His
Joe.
boyfriend's name is the Silverback.
I smell that blue belt jiu-jitsu coming, so
she's a
bring
purple
it on.
belt. Oh, your blue belt is going to take his he's competing in the fucking Abu Dhabi trials this week.
Joe don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck, dog. I'll do the EBI slap jiu-jitsu. He'll still whip my ass. Who am I kidding? Goddamn it!
But that is a girl kind of that. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that style of girl, cool, laid back, beautiful pole dancer.
Yeah, well, it's a one pole dancing class. I wouldn't say she's a pole dancer.
That's still better than most women in America.
It's true.
You could chop down 1,000 trees. That don't make you a lumberjack.
But I'm telling you,
you suck one dick, you're a cocksucker for life.
That's true. But yeah, Northern California girls are usually pretty cool, Evo. Just so you know, I don't know if you've ever been with any, but they're usually they have like a cool thing about them. So our listeners, I'm telling you, if you want to, meet your future wife, Northern California chicks.
I haven't been further north in California than Fresno, so that's as far north as I've been.
Damn. So some of the other fights this week, by the way, we're talking about. So Colby Covington, by the way, went on the street with a sign this week saying, "Looking for someone to fight me." How good is Colby? I mean, you train with Colby?
Yeah, I train with Colby. Colby's really good, man. He's still young. He's still got to work his striking out. He's getting better and better, but he's tough, and his wrestling is legit. Like, I remember the first time I went with him. That was miserable because his wrestling. My wrestling defense is really good, but there was nothing I could do with that guy. There was absolutely nothing I could do. Colby's a big, strong kid. He's tough. He works hard. He's going to do some things. He's following George Masvidal's footsteps. George is kind of taking him under his wing, and he's helped him a lot. And that's a good guy to have as like a mentor. So I think Colby will do. He has the opportunity to do some things. Now he just needs to perform.
Think he could be the champ?
Think he could be the champ? Absolutely. I think it's. I think. With their anytime there's a new champion, the door is kind of open. You know what I mean? People don't really know what Tyron's going to be like as a champion. We saw him in the 2 fights, and they were tough fights. But Wonder Boy has a specific style. We haven't been able to see Tyron as champion against another high-level wrestler, against a striker that can defend takedowns. So we have to see that before we know what it's going to be like. But I think a guy like Colby. Right now, no, just because he's so young. But a guy like that, yeah.
Now, Tyron called out Bisping. He said if GSP doesn't get Bisping, Tyron wants Bisping. Could Tyron beat Bisping? Yeah, like you said, GSP could beat him.
Could Tyron beat Bisping? I don't like the fight because all that does is hold belts up for no reason. But I don't think that's a fight Tyron wins. Bisping's wrestling defense is really good. Especially for an English cat. Bisping's bigger, and Bisping has that experience. Bisping doesn't shut down in fights. Bisping will fight. Like Tyron can knock anybody out, yeah, but and Bisping can be knocked out. But I don't think that's a good fight.
But you said GSP beats Bisping.
Yeah, GSP can. Yeah, and he can beat Bisping. In the same way that Bisping is not a specialist. He's not like a Jacare or Yoel Romero. He's good everywhere, but GSP the cardio of GSP. When he beats Bisping, it'll be on points. He's not going to beat Bisping by taking him out. You know, he'll be able to control the fight, dictate where the fight happens, and win on points. It won't be as entertaining as you'd probably like it to be, but I think that's how he can beat Bisping. Yeah, absolutely.
So GSP versus Tyron, who wins that fight?
That's a good fight. I think that plays a lot, though, like Tyron versus Rory, if Tyron isn't aggressive. You know? I think GSP can control the fight, kind of get in his head and dictate where the fight's going to happen and win on points again.
Tyron may be the most bipolar fighter I've seen. I mean, and the thing about it is he's good enough that even when he's not his best, he wins.
Yep.
Which is scary. But, I mean, you just don't know what Tyron's going to show up. Is it going to be the fucking guy who just blasts you out, or the guy who hesitates and watches and thinks too much? And, you know, he's just... It's frustrating.
It's frustrating, but you say you wonder which guy's going to show up. I think the same guy shows up every time. It's if he lands that right hand.
Right, it's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that right hand lands, if that can land, you're going to sleep. Doesn't matter who you are. But if he can't set that up, if you can stay away from that, you know, if you
Have you ever sparred with Tyron?
Yeah, we sparred a lot. Tyron was the first wrestler that I trained with, you know, and we sparred a lot over the years.
Now, when he's sparring, is he throwing that right hand?
He throws everything. He mixes it up, and that's the thing that I don't like, and I wish he would translate into his fights, is that he can do everything. You watch him hit mitts, you watch him train. He trains with a great boxing coach, Eric Brown at Wildcard. He was our boxing coach while I was still competing when we were going to Wildcard, and Tyron can do everything that needs to be done when it comes to boxing, but it's when you go... I mean, I say Tyron's like a carpenter who only wants to use the hammer. You know, sometimes you got to use that Phillips head screwdriver.
Right.
And he's not using it.
Miles Jury is back. Haven't seen him in a while. He's fighting Mike De La Torre. I don't know who the fuck Mike De La Torre is, but Miles Jury, I thought, you know, he's lost 2 fights in a row. Lost to Charles Oliveira. Lost to Donald Cerrone. I mean, there was a guy that was... You know,
he hasn't fought in a while.
Yeah, 2015. But Miles Jury was he was right there, and then fucking Donald Cerrone. I remember that fight. That was a hard fight to watch as a Miles Jury fan, because he was pulling guard the whole time and just getting kicked for it, and it was just like, that was tough to watch.
Yeah, I mean, since 2000, I'm gonna say 2010, but really since like 2005, you shouldn't be pulling guard. That's not something you do. That's not.
What if you're Ryan Hall?
Still, you shouldn't be pulling guard. I mean, yeah, I guess Ryan Hall can maybe get away with it, but that's only going to last so many times. You can only go to that well so many times. You know, you've got to be able to at least offensively wrestle to some degree, and more than just an initial shot. You've got to learn some secondary attacks, wrestling wise.
Yeah, it's like a comic that only does crowd work. You know, it's like, it's great, but it's only going to get you so far. You see these guys, they're great with the crowd, but it never translates to TV. You don't write any jokes. It's sort of like, okay, I hear you. Or a comic that only, you know, it's one-dimensional. You can't just be one-dimensional.
Yeah,
especially when you're putting yourself on your butt and waiting for, like, you know. I remember Ben Saunders won his fight by pulling guard. It looked like amazing. He tried it with Cote, and it was bad. Because there's always going to be that guy, right, who could kind of posture up and just rain down those fists. But, you know, some guys seem to get away with it. But I don't know. I think you're right.
You can only go to the well so many times, man. You're going to hit a wall at some point.
Now, Colby says he keeps calling out Kamaru Usman, and Kamaru's been ducking him for years.
Kamaru's fighting this weekend.
Yeah. Kamaru says that's bullshit. He's not ducking Colby. I don't think Kamaru's ducking anybody. I mean, this dude looks like, I mean...
shredded.
Yeah.
I mean, understatement.
Jesus Christ. If I had a body like this, fuck, man. I would just be on Tinder all day. So Kamaru versus Sean Strickland versus Tarzan. I like Kamaru. I hope he wins. He's been looking really tough. Sean Strickland, though, I didn't think he was that good. I actually thought Luke Barnett beat him when they fought. But Barnett is a tough guy to fight. He's 7'3". You know, he's just long. He beat Tom Breeze. He beat Alex Garcia. He beat Bubba McDaniel. He lost to Santiago
Ponzinibbio.
Yeah, he lost to him, but that was a while back. And
Ponzinibbio hits hard.
And Santiago's won his last 3 fights. Has not lost since Lorenz Larkin. So who do you think wins this fight?
I'll go with Usman in this fight.
All day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He's I'm not I don't have the rivalry with Black Zillions. Those guys, though, he trains with Michael Johnson a lot. Michael is a guy I follow and I respect a lot. And I know Michael likes to fight, and they're in the gym and they just throw bombs at each other all day. So he can take it. He can wrestle. I think he wins this fight. I think he wins this fight in the second by stoppage.
All right, Usman. I mean, power hasn't been his like
legacy.
Yeah. Seems to for a guy who looks the way he does, he hits hard, but he hasn't been knocking fuckers out. But he's got great cardio. He beat Warley Alves. He beat Warley Alves pretty bad, actually. He's won 3 fights in a row. He beat Yakovlev. He beat Leon Edwards. I remember he beat Hader Hassan. He knocked Hader Hassan out. I was there for that fight.
That was the finale.
Yeah.
I think that's a good fight for Colby. And when I say a good fight for Colby, I don't mean Colby just automatically wins it. I think it's a good, competitive, fun to watch fight. I would love to see that. He wins this fight. That just puts Colby a couple of months down the road for another fight. But yeah, if that's the next thing in line, that'll be fun to watch. I think that definitely needs to be televised.
And then my boy Patrick Cummings, who, he's had maybe the weirdest UFC career ever. I mean, he's a guy that...
Weirder than Tiki?
What?
Weirder than Tiki?
Maybe, at least he got to bang Ariane, Tiki. So that makes up for never winning a fight in the UFC. But, so Patrick Cummings is a guy that... I mean, I remember having him on the show. He went to jail for robbing dorm rooms at Penn State. After he took a second in the country. He then went back with Eric Bradley and raided dorm rooms and took all this shit, went to jail for a year for that. Then he was living with Mayhem, and nobody wanted to fight him. He calls out Cormier, gets the Cormier fight, then gets knocked out quick, but at the same time, shit. I mean, fuck.
He got in.
He got in, but then it's just been up and down with Patrick Cummings. He's coming off a 2-fight loss. He got knocked out by Little Nog, knocked out by Glover Teixeira, beat Rafael Cavalcante, knocked out by OSP. But before that, he beat Antonio Carlos Jr., beat Kyle Kingsbury, beat Roger Navarez. So he's kind of a streaky fighter.
Yeah, I think a guy like that, it's management. He's got to get matched up to get to that point. He improves every time, but just because you got a little better doesn't mean that you can go and take on the big shark. You know what I mean? So he gets better every single time, but you fight at your level. That's the problem with being in the UFC. There are times when you get matched up and you see a guy that's not in the rankings get a number 8 guy, and you can look at it and know there's a big disparity in skills there. But I mean, when you're in the pool, you got to swim. Right?
So management, but you don't. I mean, I thought he was going to go murder Little Nog.
I think that's too much experience. I mean, he could wrestle him for a bit. It's in Brazil, but how is he going to murder him? He's going to wrestle him to death? I mean, the submission game of Lil Nog and the boxing game of Lil Nog.
Yeah,
I think that's a bad matchup going in.
So Cummings is fighting Jan Blachowicz.
Jan Wachowicz. Have you watched any
of these guys' fights?
I remember calling Jan's fights before, but
I mean, he lost 3 out of his last 4. He beat Igor Pakrajec.
He just lost to Gustafsson.
Yeah.
Damn.
But he lost to Corey Anderson, lost to Jimmy Manoa, which is looking a lot better now based on how good Manoa is.
Who those guys are, yeah.
But he beat Ayer Latifi in 1 round. Man, this is a hard... I mean, Cummings is from up... I think he's from up there. He's from Buffalo. So he's going to have the fight's in Buffalo. I hope he doesn't get knocked out. I have a feeling if he gets knocked out, he's going to get cut. They might even cut the number 12 guy.
They're both number 12 in this thing, though.
Yeah, according to the UFC.com, they're both number 12. I guess they're sharing the spot. This is for the interim number 12 belt.
Wow.
This fight. Who the fuck is doing this UFC.com? It's like you have, what?
Yeah, they're both listed as number 12 on the.
I guess it's a tie, you know. So they're both number 12.
They got the same amount of votes or something.
So the winner moves up to number 12, and the loser falls down to number 12. So yeah, this is strange. Who do you think wins this fight?
I'd like to see Cummins win. I would like to see that. I don't know. This one, I think this one's a toss-up. I mean, they're both number 12. You know?
Well, who's the highest ranked guy you ever fought?
At the time, probably me and Josh.
Josh was ranked number what?
He's probably. Well, we didn't have official rankings then.
Yeah. What was it? It was in what? It was in the UFC.
It was in the UFC.
But there was no rankings then?
No, there weren't official rankings then, and we it had to be 1 and 2. I don't know which way. It'd probably be me at number 1 just because I had fought more. Hansen, Uno. I'm sorry, not Uno. Ruben Asado or Caro Uno. One of those two guys. Caro was the former champ of Shudo, so when I fought him. Yeah, I don't know.
So that's great. That's so fucking
There's
cool.
no
man.
rankings, man.
I know. It's such bullshit. I know. So, Joe, who do you think wins this fight?
I think Jan Blachowicz is going to win.
Oh.
That's just my educated MMA mixed martial arts analysis guess.
And then Josh Emmett's fighting. Josh Emmett is he's a Team Alpha Male guy. He's 10-0, tough guy. 11-0 actually. 11-0. He's fighting my man Desmond Green. I love Desmond Green. We've had him on the show before. The Predator. He's a tough guy, Desmond Green. You know, he's from Rochester. Another guy from Buffalo. He's got dreadlocks. He was in Titan FC. He was a Titan FC champion. He lost to the guy that just won a WSOF that we had on the show recently.
I have no idea.
Yeah, fuck. The guy just beat Lance Palmer. Lance Palmer and WSOF. Why am I spacing this?
We need CB here.
I know. CB fucking is drunk off WrestleMania last night. CB kept fucking posting, Undertaker. I'm like, dude, first of all, no one cares who's not watching it. And everyone who's watching it knows the Undertaker fucking is back or this guy won or, I don't know, the Rock and Roll Express won. It's like, what the fuck?
Rock and Roll Express.
Like, what is going on? They're like, dude, the fucking Dudley Boys are back. Great. You guys are all watching it. Like nobody who's not watching the UFC, Andre Harrison, I'm talking about Dre the Bull Harrison. Anyone who's not watching WWE does not care about WWE. You're either watching WrestleMania or you're not.
Yeah.
There's no need to post. My whole fucking feed is like, oh my god, Big John Studd just fucking. Great. The Bushwhackers. I don't give a fuck. It's not real. It's entertaining. I don't want to shit on your parade. I used to love wrestling when I was 12, and then I found pussy.
Then you grew up.
I found pussy, and
With your puberty.
and it's just fucking yeah. I had things to do. I had chores. I stopped watching it at age 12, but I loved it. No one loved it more than me at age 12. My bar mitzvah was Adam's No Holds Bar Mitzvah. That was my theme. I loved it. I watched every WrestleMania.
That is so Jewish.
Thank you. But at a 32-year-old man should not be updating their Facebook saying, the Dudley Boys are back with fucking 17 explanation points and then cancels on the fucking podcast because you don't feel good because you overdosed on fucking nerdism. Sorry, man.
Don't hate Adam. Don't hate.
Hold on. Fucking. Hey, Darren, you here? What's up, man? Did you come by? Yeah, okay. Just text me downstairs. Okay, cool. So, sorry about that. It's a very professional podcast. Okay, so, but this guy beat Steven Seiler. He beat Miguel Torres. I mean, Miguel Torres is 97 years old at this point, but I think they're kind of setting him up to lose to this Josh Emmett kid. I think they're kind of looking at Emmett as like the next big thing in MMA, or not next big thing, but they're 11-0 prospect from Team Alpha Male. With a win over Scott Holtzman and a win over John Tuck. But Desmond Green's no joke. So Green might actually pull off the upset. And then my girl, Caitlin Chukagian, she's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah, I remember her.
She's fighting Irene Aldana. This should be a good fight. Caitlin Caitlin's this girl from, she's like a black belt in karate. She beat Lauren Murphy. She lost her last fight, but it was close against Liz Carmouche. But she had Carmouche hurt. She had her rocked in New York.
Caitlin, blonde fighter, Chukagian.
What about it? Say it.
Blonde fighter,
Oh.
Chukagi.
Oh, well, you have to do this for your job. Okay, that's how you do it?
Chukagian.
Okay. But this girl, Aldana, was supposed to beat Leslie Smith. I think she was like a 5-1 favorite and lost. Leslie lit her up. So this should be a good fight. Hopefully, Caitlin gets the win. I like Caitlin a lot. She's a cool chick. So
I'm with you on this one.
The prelim fight that I'm looking forward to is Gregor Gillespie and Andrew Holbrook.
Oh yeah, 8-0 and 12-1.
Gregor's legit, man. I went down to I used to go to Long Island. To wrestle. I used to go to Hofstra, and
That's where I went to college. We're going.
Huh?
I went to college there.
You okay?
Come on.
Nice.
Nice.
I used to go up to the wrestling room all the time. One of my friends was a coach there, and
Who's that?
Dan Valamont.
Okay.
So I would go there and I'd wrestle with a bunch of the guys there. And Gregor was also a volunteer coach there. And I trained with him. He trained with Dennis Bermudez, Ryan LaFleur, and those guys. And so I went over to train with those guys. And everybody, before I got there, my friends would tell me that Gregor is like the best guy on top. You can't get up from underneath that guy and this and that. And he's 4-time All-American, is a national champion, or All-American as a true freshman, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we start training. He takes me down, and he gets to my half, and I scramble, and I get back to my feet, and I'm like, yeah, what's up now? And that was the last time I got up, man. I was there for 2 weeks.
you just got out last week?
I couldn't do anything when that kid was on top of me. There was one point I came up. I was like, "Yeah, I'm coming up. I'm coming up on this single leg, and I'm gonna finish this single." I came up on that single leg, and he just chin whipped me back to my back.
No way.
And there was nothing I could do about it.
So-
He's miserable on top, man.
But how good is this other guy though?
Andrew Holbrook. Holbrook he's pretty. 12-1. He's in the UFC. He's legit. He's gonna have a problem in the wrestling department. I think he has advantage striking, but he's gonna have a problem when it comes down to the wrestling. I don't know if he's going to be able to stop. And Gregor doesn't get tired. That's another thing. This guy doesn't get tired. This guy will run 4 miles in like 20 minutes.
Really?
No bullshit. Like 20 minutes is a long time for him to run 4 miles.
So
he runs at a marathon's pace.
So you think Gillespie wins this?
Yeah, I don't think Gregor. I think Gregor. I would love to see him get a bunch more fights in, and get comfortable with his striking. And I'd love to see him fight a guy like Nurmagomedov. He's that level wrestler, I believe.
Really?
I truly believe that.
Was he the best wrestler that you ever went up against?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
Including the guys at Top Team?
Yeah.
Including Bubba?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Bubba was a national champion.
So was he.
He was national champion?
He's national champion and 4-time All-American as a true freshman.
Wow. That's pretty fucking insane.
Yeah. He's crazy, man. Like, this kid ate like chicken breast and broccoli for probably like the last 10 years of his life for dinner. Like, he's shredded, ripped. Like, he's always working out. He's like, conditioning and cardio is not an issue for him. Like, I'm serious. The pace that he puts on, he'll run like 8 miles for a workout and finish that in like 40 something minutes, like 45 minutes.
That's crazy.
Jeez, 8 miles?
Yeah.
Wow.
That'll take me like 4 days.
Yeah, I couldn't even drive that in 45 minutes. That's crazy. Well, listen, you got anything coming up, buddy?
Not too much. Just the premiere of SWAT, and I think that comes out in July. It will be airing. Doing the fights this weekend, UFC 210 on FS1. So tune in, give Thug Jitsu some love. I appreciate that. Going down to Florida, leaving on Sunday to help Dustin get ready for his fight against Eddie Alvarez. So I'm gonna have a good time being down there with those guys again. Get to see Dustin,
fight.
get to help just to put my ingredients into that stew. That's the Poirier win. And yeah, I'm just having a good time and just loving life right now.
I love that. And you? Anything coming up?
You can just check me out, my podcast called Wing Dog Radio. My last episode was about the Titanic. Some cool
I
stuff.
thought it was about science now.
I like to talk about just anything
First
I
it
like.
was pussy, now it's science, now it's the Titanic.
Like educational stuff is what I like to talk about. But check out Wing Dog Radio on iTunes. That's pretty much it.
All right. I got a couple things coming up. This week, I'm in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, Wednesday to Sunday at the Carolina Comedy Club. And then what else? Next week, I am in Kansas City, Missouri at Stanford & Sons. Last week of April, I am in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I want to thank our sponsor, Blue Apron, the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country. Their mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone. They achieve this by supporting a more sustainable food system, setting the highest standards for ingredients, and building a community of home chefs. I'm telling you, me and my girl, we made Blue Apron last week. It was the best date night we had in a long time. Cooking together builds strong family bonds. Research shows that Blue Apron families cook nearly 3 times more often. And those who spend a lot of restaurants or high-end grocery chains can now spend under $10 a person for a delicious meal. I'm telling you, this is good. Blue Apron, it's affordable, less than $10 per meal per person. But variety is lots of different recipes each week. It's flexible, okay? Customize your recipes each week based on your preferences. It's easy to make. Every meal is 40 minutes or less, and it's guaranteed. Check out this week's menu. Get your first 3 meals free with free shipping. Go to blueapron.com/MMA roast. You'll love how good it feels, how good it tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals. By the way, somebody we haven't called in a while is Don Frye. I'm going to call him right now. Let's just say hello, Don Frye. We're going to call Don Frye, see how he's doing, because I just feel like calling Don. I have not told him I'm going to call him. We'll see how Don Frye is doing. You a Don Frye fan?
I'm a big Don Frye fan. Did I tell you about what he did to my buddy?
No, what did he do?
Tell you after he answers.
Did he beat him up?
No. It's funny, though.
Don Frye. Hopefully he'll pick up. Last time he was always chasing his horse.
Chasing his horse.
Yeah, remember that?
A horse.
He's like, hey, I'm not here right now. I'm chasing my horse.
Okay.
He may have the best voice in the history of voices. Like, he's just a man. He's like the last of the men. I hope he picks up.
This is Don Frye. I'm not here at the moment, obviously, so leave a message, and I feel like it'll get back to you. If not, hold your breath till you hit explodes. Alrighty? Have a good day.
At least he's still not chasing his horse.
Yeah, so that was that. So what's your story about Don Frye?
At the UFC, the inauguration for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So that was in Uncasville, Connecticut. I fought on that card. He was sitting on the side because he was going to be inducted. Anyway, I'm like, hey, man, one of my best friends. Is that a ring?
Yeah.
He was like, one of my best friends is over here, and he's a huge fan of yours, man. Do you mind if I bring him over here? Will you sign an autograph for him? And he's like, Don is like, yeah, Eve, I'll do that for you. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go grab my buddy. He comes over. He's like, I'm like, hey, Don, this is the guy. Don looks up. He's drinking a beer. He goes, hey, I heard you want to suck my dick.
And then what happened?
And then he grabbed him, pulled him to him. He signed his jeans.
No, really?
Yeah.
That is. I heard you want to suck my dick.
Yeah.
That may be the funny dude. He's a classic. He's a classic. He's a Don. He's the best. Don's a good dude. But I want to see how Don's doing right.
He fought on my debut. He was main event on that card.
Against who? Where was it?
It was in Dallas. I don't remember. He fought like some nobody.
Did he win?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was Don Frye. It was not a hard thing.
Hold on, he's on the phone right now. Hey Don, what's up? It's Adam Hunter. Hey, I want to call you for the podcast. Will you pick up in like 1 second? All right, okay. I'll call you back in 1 second. I'm gonna call you from on this number. All right, so we're gonna end the call with end the podcast with a call of Don Frye. See how Don's doing, because I gotta see how Don's doing. He's the last of the.
He's been fighting since before I was born.
What was that?
He's been fighting since before I was born.
Oh, he's the man. Hey, Don Frye, how's it going, man?
Good. What are you up to?
I'm just doing the MMA Roasted podcast. I'm here with Yves Edwards and Joe Perez. We just called to say hello, see how what's going on in the life of Don Frye.
Well, it's none of your goddamn business. Huh?
No. Don said there was I know he was telling a story about how you were at the Hall of Fame, that his friend wanted an autograph from you. And you said, sure, no problem, I'll do that for you, Yves. And then you looked at his friend and said, hey, I heard you want to suck my dick.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Oh my God.
It was funny as hell too. I remember that.
Did she have big boobies?
What's that?
Did she have big boobies?
Oh no, it wasn't a girl. It was a dude.
Well, it must have been your date, then, not mine.
That's so funny, man. So, hey!
Who's is that? Adam, is that your date?
Yeah, that's my Tinder date. So what's going on, man? Are you in Arizona?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona. Yeah, just hanging out,
How's
trying to figure out. I got a call for a movie, so don't know when I'm going to go back to California here and get to work on that.
Nice. What movie is it?
I don't know. I can't say because they probably, you know how Hollywood is. You know, they get all pissy. Shit.
Nice. I was saying, man, I think you're one of the last of the manly men's in the world. I think you're one of the last of you're a dying breed of just real Americans. So
You know, that's why they want me to play Mike Hagar.
Mike Hagar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Mike Hagar?
Aguilar.
Oh, Mike Aguilar. Oh, gotcha. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Now you're a big Trump supporter, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Are you? So you're happy he won?
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm happy you won. Hell yeah.
Nice.
We're gonna get to wave the American flag instead of the Chinese Tommy flag.
Well, I guess that's good to not wave the Chinese commie flag. So you still training? Hitting the gym?
No, I got 2 more months until I get released. You know, get clearance to go back to the gym.
Nice. What do you think? Possibly a comeback fight, you versus Tito?
Yeah, hell yeah. 'Cause I'm looking at doing this hyperbaric chamber, you know, as part of my conditioning comeback treatment, you know. And the hyperbaric chamber up there in Phoenix is shit, it works fantastic. Makes you feel like $1 million.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey Don, I started watching you fight, and you were one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. But it's so different from what it was then. Now, what do you think of the sport now, man? Did you see this happening in your lifetime?
No, it went from a fight to a sport to a TV show, man. You know?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Is it so? Does it piss you off, or are you still appreciate when you can get a good fight out of some of these fights?
Oh no, when you get 2 great athletes together fighting, that's fantastic. But you know, I mean, that last championship fight, that was horrible. You know, I mean, Grammy, those guys didn't touch each other. You know.
Talking about Woodley Wonderboy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh?
Who do you think wins this week? Anthony Johnson or Cormier?
You know what? That one was so bad. Neither one. They were both out of shape the first round. You know, the last time they fought, Criminy. You know, I mean, whoever has enough gas to make it through the second round is the win.
Don, who of the fighters today is your favorite fighter now?
Oh heck, you know, Criminy. Now you got me all blocked out, man. Shit. Who's the little flyweight guy?
Demetrius Johnson?
Huh?
Demetrius Johnson, the champ?
Yeah, Demetrius. I love Demetrius Johnson, man. And then old Cody beat the crap out of Cruz. You know, that was a great fight. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah.
Criminy. There's one other. I can't think of it right now. But yeah, I mean, shit, some of these guys just tear it up. They're fantastic.
You a fan of Conor McGregor?
Yeah, I love listening to Conor, man. He's like listening to Terry Funk and Superstar Graham and Ric Flair all rolled up into one, you know?
Who's a guy that you wish you would have fought?
Hell, you know what? Nobody. There's nobody out there that I missed, you know? I mean, they wish they fought me, Criminy. That way they could have. They'd be known forever. You know, they'd be in the history book.
Yeah.
Anybody who fights me is part of history.
Now, we were at the. I was sitting right next to you when it was Tito versus Chael, and the look on your face when Tito won, you looked really sad, man. You look very upset about that.
You know, I was shocked. I thought Chael was going to bring something more. You know, it just he was just there for the paycheck. You could tell. You know, and we've all been there. Everybody was retired more than once. So, you know, there's always come back for a paycheck. And that's pretty obvious what Chael was there for.
How bad does that piss you off, Don? When guys are only in there for the check.
I wasn't pissed off. I was disappointed as all get out. That's for damn sure. You know, I thought Chael could have made it a real fight. You know, he didn't. But Frye, he left it all on the microphone. You know.
Now, but I mean, he's fighting Vanderlei Silva at MSG, and then Fedor is fighting Mitrione. What do you think of that card?
Who is that?
Madison Square Garden, June 24th. It's Chael versus Vanderlei, and Fedor versus Matt Mitrione. And then
who? Bellator?
Yeah, and Bellator, and Ryan Bader versus King Mo.
Wow, jeez. That's what they're going to headline Madison Square Garden with?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow. They just get the fucking parking lot attendant and the janitor to go in there and go at it. Right?
Now, you know, I miss when you used to call shark fights, right? Shark fights?
Yeah.
Now, you were great on the mic because halfway through it, you would just talk about your own fights. It seemed like you were getting drunk, and then you were stuck, and then people that were fighting you didn't even know who was even fighting anymore. It was Don Frye telling old stories, and I thought it was the greatest thing I've ever heard before. We need to get more of that. That was so fucking funny, man.
Hell, I don't even remember that, man. Crying, it was so long ago. Was that a decade ago or what?
It was a while ago, but you know, it was not forgotten. Hey
Don, what was the best place for you to fight at? Where was the best place fighting back in those days? Was the UFC or Pride or something completely different?
Oh, crying, that's tough, man. Because UFC was a different animal back then. It really was. Completely different one this today. But Pride was such a great show. I mean, every show was a big event. You know, it wasn't just, you know, like now where they half the card falls out and so they throw somebody else in. You know, I mean, back then you fought hurt because you know they tell you we may not bring you back if you don't fight well. You may not come back here ever again. So people showed up all bandaged and taped up, and they put their heart into it. Nobody went in there half-assed. Every fight was a main event fight, man. The whole thing was a big event.
Now, one fight that I wish would have happened, just because I remember we used to have Randleman on the show all the time, and Randleman hated Tito more than anything. You mentioned Tito. Randleman went from 0 to 1,000. Who do you think would have won that fight?
Oh, Randleman, easy, man. Randleman was such a superb athlete, man. The guy was phenomenal. You know, I think he's probably the best athlete to ever walk into the cage or the ring. You know, he was something else, man. He was a whole completely different animal himself, man.
Now, did you watch Rampage versus King Mo Saturday night?
No, what happened?
Well, King Mo won, but Rampage came in at 253, so he came in 48 pounds over, or whatever and King Mo came in at 205. Rampage.
What Rampage do? Train at the buffet line?
It was. Yeah, he actually stopped. He actually was stealing people's food on the way to the cage. Like people were in the audience, they had food, and he was taking it and then walking in there. But he just kind of gassed. He just kind of gassed out. But he hurt him though. He Rampage still has that power. How do you think
he's better. You outweigh somebody by 40 pounds. You better be able to hurt him.
How do you think a prime Don Frye versus a prime Rampage would have went?
Oh, it'd been Don Frye all the way, baby. You know, crazy. Don Frye was a man, and he's in his prime.
Yeah, no, he was the man. Now, how many Japanese? Yeah.
But I mean, I had to fight Adam for to kiss Eve back then. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Hey, Don, do you remember fighting in Dallas, Texas for a guy named Buddy Albin at a show called Power Ring Warriors?
You know what? My buddy and I just talked about that yesterday. I have never even thought about that until he mentioned that yesterday.
That's funny. That was my debut, and I was on that card, and it was the biggest thing in the world for me to be fighting on a card with Don Frye. I wanted to ding dong get you a doorbell though.
And there are some pretty women walking around that place, weren't there?
Yeah, there were.
Oh.
Now, back in the day, I mean, were you just running through chicks? I mean, was it Don? I mean, because you had that little Speedo, you had that hairy chest, you had the mustache. Like, in like Japan, there aren't guys like you. You're kind of was it Don Frye with Japanese women every night?
No, Don Frye was married and completely monogamous and faithful and loyal. When I make a commitment, I make a commitment, man. I was faithful and loyal for all 20 years of my marriage.
Nice. Well, that's very respectable, man. Very respectable.
Why take the vow? You're lying to God. And He don't put up with that shit.
I like it. I'm getting married in June, so that's very good advice, man.
Yeah, you're damn right, man. There's a reason you take the vow. So you're giving your word.
Don, you remember that gig I did at the casino where the waitress got mad at me? I told her. I told her I wanted to bang her during the show, and then afterwards, she told human resources, and then they all start yelling at me, and Don Frye's next to me. I'm getting yelled at by the waitress.
That's awesome.
Are you marrying her? Is that what
No, I'm not marrying her. I got banned from that casino because of that gig.
I know. That was so sad. I mean, that girl got more attention that time that night in her whole life. Crying at me.
Such bullshit. I was so fucking annoyed because I had a great set. I had to fucking drive home the next night, and I got paid half the money.
What the fuck do they expect when they work at a comedy club, man? Come on.
It was so stupid.
You want equal rights and be treated equal, but your feelings hurt. Then all of a sudden, you're a woman, and those things are wrong. Come on.
And then you get you get the guy fired too. It's just like you gotta be
right.
Yeah, but you're working in a comedy club. There's nothing off limits in a comedy club.
And it was one of the. All I said was she was hot. Like I didn't even say anything like, oh my god, yeah, I would hit that or something. Maybe that, but it was nothing very grotesque or completely out of control. It was ridiculous.
No.
It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. They should have fired her.
Exactly.
Put her in room service or something.
Now, BJ Penn is fighting Dennis Seaver. You think BJ should just hang it up?
No, I think BJ, you know what? If you're willing to get in there and lace up the gloves, you're capable of doing it. Who cares if you're 100 years old? If you can still beat people, why the hell should you retire?
Now,
age is just a number, man. If you still handle people, get in there and make some money.
Now, Vitor Belfort said there should be a League of Legends where legends fight in the UFC. If that happens, would you be in that?
Now, what is that now?
Vitor wants to do a League of Legends with all legendary fighters. If that happens, would you be in it?
Sure. As long as it's not next week.
I don't think it'll be next week. Well, listen, Don, I just wanted to say hello, tell you how much we appreciate you. When you're in LA filming the movie, let me know if you have any downtime. Would love to do a podcast with you in studio.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for calling, man. Nice to talk to you again.
Take care, brother.
Take care, Frye.
All right. That was.
Thank you, sir.
That was Don Frye. Fucking the man, the myth, the legend.
That dude is a G.
He's a guy though. Like if I ever had a body I needed to get rid of, Don Frye would be one of the guys I would call because there are certain people I would call. Because he would know exactly what to do.
A dead body.
No, right. Not just like a live body. A dead
Okay.
body. Like the body was already dead.
Okay.
I have friends that I keep around for that. I have friends that I keep around just in case I need to get rid of a body. There are people like Mayhem would be a guy I would call. You probably have 3 other dead bodies.
He has a pickup truck full of dead bodies on his way here.
He's like, yeah, I was about to dump some just now.
Eve, have you ever killed anybody?
I can't say things on radio.
All right, nice. Thank you. Okay, listen. Well, that is our podcast today. Thank you, Don Frye. Thank you, Brooke Mayo. Thank you, Eve Edwards. Thank you, Joe the Kid Perez.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Take care.